Matt Beers, back in South Africa, off his bike for once. Been a long season, bro.
Yeah, it's nice to be back in a little bit of a, stable situation.
Familiar home, eh?
For quite a few months now, till basically April next year.
Oh, wow, you got a long break. That's great.
Yeah, so back here, just, we're going to have to put in the graft for 2025.
So, I mean, this is probably your busiest season that I can remember. Obviously, there was some lean, weird years for a few years, beginning of this COVID years, and then life came back, and you have had an incredible. I mean, you obviously went to UAE, you did road, you've been mountain biking, you've done everything locally, that's for sure. You've killed all your partners off. No one can find you a partner to sustain. And then you got into gravel, which is more solo, and you've obviously won your third epic. And now you've been racing in the States, which is always, for any South African, it sounds very glamorous and fun and exciting, big names, a new sport in gravel riding. You've done it all, and you've seen it all. And you're still a relative lighty, in terms of life sense, but you've got so much wisdom. You've seen so much, bro. And yeah, we're so lucky to spend some time with you and just hear, when you're not on your bike, what it's been like. Like, tell us about, firstly, this year, all your racing and traveling, and then we can talk about your future goals. How was this year?
This year was like my first proper year. I obviously signed with Specialized Off-Road team, which is like a mainly gravel focused and mountain bike US team.
So that means it was your first year as a global athlete for Specialized, not just South Africa.
Yeah, so I mean, I do still ride for Toyota Specialized here, but it's kind of like a merger of things.
Oh, nice. And has that worked out? Is there a conflict, or you found that stressful at all, or does it flow?
I mean, we had to figure some things out to make everyone happy.
Sure.
It's obviously always like, you want to just make sure all partners are happy,
Yeah.
and there was an agreement with, Bobby and Fiona and Mud. So, yeah, and then obviously that meant that I would do a lot more racing in the US.
Sure.
So,
which is good for everyone. I mean, it raises your profile. You've always got the Toyota brand on your butt and Specialized and the rest, so no one loses, I assume.
Yeah, so it was, just getting the experience. I obviously was there last year for a couple races, but it was nice to just like be in a program where I was fully supported, and that makes a huge difference out there. When obviously, like you said, I've been grateful to. I've done a lot in my short kind of. I mean, not too short.
It's a decade, I would imagine, by now. A decade of full gas racing.
A little bit less. But yeah, I've managed to see a lot, like the road side, now the whole mountain bike side,
and now the gravel.
And I think that's where it's going. We all see.
Okay, that where your heart feels like or your sense is where it's headed.
I mean, yeah, the writing's on the wall. I think a lot of people, a lot of brands, you can see the hype is gravel. It's all gravel.
Sure.
And but I still love mountain biking, and I still want to chase some of my own goals. And
what would those be, man? I mean, 3 times Cape Epic, you're not going to do much better than that. I mean,
I guess it's just trying to win more.
Just win more. Okay. So, and no other major races in the world that you feel like the World Marathon Champs is becoming fairly higher profile than it used to be, maybe?
I think on the mountain bike side, that would be, I have expressed it, like a medal at the World Championships marathon would be like, I could end my career pretty happy doing that.
Sure.
For the mountain bike side, obviously gravel, I've got quite a lot more that I want to achieve. But yeah, when a course comes up that suits my strengths like fully, then I would like to give that a go. Yeah, I think as a top athlete, we're very goal driven, and I think once you've accomplished a lot of goals and you've ticked those boxes, you kind of need more goals in order to. It's just how your brain is wired. I mean, that's
great to hear. That means it's not always about the money and necessarily the fame. I mean, Yokes have got that. And you don't walk away. These guys don't walk away. I mean, Nino could have walked away from mountain biking a long time ago.
Yeah, no, it's passion, for sure.
Lekker. And that passion doesn't get extinguished from all this time. I mean, you've been away from your missus, you've been away from your mates, you've been away from your beloved local rides, chappies, Jonkershoek, your local trails, Takai, you're a South African. I mean, thank God you still speak like us, even despite all your travel. You're a real South African, and that's what we all love. I think that's why you're such a hero, because you're so accessible. You're not accessible to the media, accessible to your fans.
Yeah, I think it is becoming a lot more difficult now with the amount I have to travel to the US and stuff.
Sure.
But home is still home. It's still South Africa. I still think I need to do as my, almost feels like my duty to
Really?
race here still, I think.
A duty as a proud South African, and also
Well, to keep the sport going.
Yeah,
I think
okay. No.
I think if you just leave and you do everything there overseas or whatever, like
yeah.
when you come back here, when it's all
The
over,
country's
they
worse
don't
off for
remember
it.
you.
Yeah, sure.
And you don't really have, I mean, listen, you have to play it like if you're going to be, for this moment I can
Sure.
juggle it, but like if, there might be a time where I'm going to have to live in the US 6 months
A
at a
lot
time.
longer.
But yeah, I do enjoy it here. I think we do have really good races here still. So
And you've been amazing. I mean, I do a lot of races behind you, like all the rest of your fans. And I mean, you arrive at things like Around the Pot. I mean, they don't have names, and then you'll arrive, and suddenly it's game on. There's something to follow. There's something for the media. There's talking points. Some of the amateurs will think, yes, how long can I hang on to the beers bus? Which is lekker. And
Yeah.
you do a lot of the local. So and thank you for that as a South African mountain bike media, and as a rider and a fan. Thank you. It's amazing. So,
really.
will you be racing some of these 8 and 7 day, etc. These stage races, gravel races?
I don't know yet. It's going to be hard to tell with the season. I mean, I would like to. Maybe not next year.
Have you got a plan for
depends.
next year? I mean, when will you announce your racing schedule for?
No, we're still discussing it, trying to figure it all out. There's obviously a lot of races. There's a lot more races now, so we're trying to plan on what works and what can.
And who's we? Who'll make those decisions with you? Mike as a coach. You got a management team as a specialized global team.
Yeah, it's between like, specialized global. My coach John, and
So John's your coach, eh?
yeah,
Specifically. Not
yeah.
Mike.
No, I just ride with Mike a lot.
Okay.
And then obviously Toyota, specialized, seeing what races are important here
Sure.
for the brand. So there's a lot of just everyone on the same page.
Yeah, that's
And then
great.
Obviously doing what benefits me the most as well. You can't just race yourself to death.
No, you can't. But
I've done that. I've been there, done that. Got the T-shirt. Doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a couple of races you were just disappointed because you were just over raced.
Yeah, you just don't get results, and then you're not doing the brand, or you're not doing.
Let's go back a bit. When I first interviewed you, you were bouncing between road, local races, international races. You hadn't made a breakthrough to international teams recognition. You'd had your motorbike history. You'd had crashes. You'd come across to cycling. People recognized you had all this power. You were kind of, I reckon, if I'd said to you at that time, do you know that in 3 years' time you and I are going to sit inside your Toyota and talk about you being 3 epic wins down, internationally recognized on the gravel circuit, a household name in cycling in South Africa? You would have said, no way. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no.
So I'm stoked for you. I mean, it's just so lekker to see a story unfold from the start to greatness. And I kind of wonder now if I said to you, we're gonna have the same chat on Chapman's Peak in a year's time.
Yeah.
What would be, if you could say it now, what would be like amazing if you could say, oh, geez, I even got this year. Like, even if is it 1 or 2 big races, or is it just continuing to fly the Matt Beers brand under with all your partners?
Yeah, it is a tough one. You've obviously, I think, biggest thing would be to just make more or win more races in the US, like on the gravel side, like Unbound, gravel, and any of those really big. I obviously won one big one this year, which is BWR California, which is like one of the first big gravel races in the US, and that was that really like helped.
Catapulted you. What was the reaction? I mean, how big is cycling? I mean, Lance Armstrong put cycling on the map in a way in America after years of having no real heroes. How big is cycling there? How big was it in the local media? how big was it for your partners? I mean, is there a big enough audience that makes winning in America that important?
Yeah, I think obviously America's like a massive country, so there's a lot of eyeballs and there's a lot of people.
Okay.
So you're on just a bigger scale in terms of eyes and scope. So yeah, it creates a lot of opportunity for myself, like, you know, with sponsors, with just people knowing who I am, not just this marathon guy, and being versatile. So it is really important. Like, it's the age-old thing. You have to win. I mean, people. It's getting different now. You also have to be good on social media nowadays. So but at the end of the day, what moves the needle is that you do have to win these big races.
Who would be your? I mean, you've been with Blevins. You've had a few partners. You've seen the kind of differential when you ride with a small, it climbs like a beast like last year, versus having a guy who's a little bit more versatile like you. Who would be an ideal partner? I mean, are you coming back to Epic next year?
Yeah, partner's always the trickiest part with Epic.
Planning, timing.
Obviously, Howie was great, and he had a horrific injury in August. Like after Leadville, he crashed at Break Epic and broke his back, his shoulder.
Toast coming back? Is he?
He's making a recovery. He'll be back, but before Epic is too soon.
Okay. So is it a question mark, or are you just not allowed to say?
A bit of both.
Okay.
It's there's a few options, but not allowed to say either. So we'll see.
Number 4 would be cool. You're going for 5.
We're trying to make it that I have the best possible, partnership to make hopefully number 4.
Well, I mean, I spoke to a lot of your rivals, I mean, big name rivals, and was sort of like, there was a time when maybe during COVID, they were like, okay, the field was a bit weaker and you won, and it didn't feel probably as good for you as it could have. And then now you're beating everyone. And they then said to me, to beat Matt in South Africa in March is close to not feasible. Literally, they were like, you're not going to beat this on this course at this time of year.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a bit of a rough one. Pressure-wise, it's not so lucky to start with
a
target on your back from every other rider.
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure, and obviously it took me a lot of years of being really bad. Like it's not as if
School of Hard Knocks, 10,000 hours.
Yeah, I did 6 epics before I could do anything. And I suffered like a dog and rode really badly. Took a long time to figure out. So there's always it's that whole iceberg analogy of everyone just
a
sees
little
the
piece
top,
on top looks lekker.
but there was a lot of heartache and literally wanting to never do it again. So, but it's we have something figured out, but also every year changes sometimes. Like last year, it was just everything went perfect in the lead up.
So tell us quick, you're sitting here in this lekker Toyota. I mean, it's a lekker vehicle. I mean, it's perfect for you. Space for bikes in the back, on the mates on the back, in the back of the car, and it's a huge vehicle that carries a lot of stuff, lekker for holidays and all sorts. Do you get, wherever you go in the world, is there a Toyota waiting for you?
No, not yet. Maybe they can be like that.
Yeah.
We try and, it's funny because we normally rent a Toyota Tacoma or something in the US. But obviously when we're in SA and if we're racing around, like if we go to Joburg, there'll be a Bucky or wherever. So that's very nice. It is a Toyota South Africa sponsorship, not a global. Okay, cool. So, but yeah, it's an awesome vehicle.
Super. I mean, there's a reason why every taxi on the road is a Toyota. There's 6 last,
and the reason why
they don't break down.
All the farmers and it's a utility vehicle.
So carrying a lot of stuff.
So no, I mean it's awesome, and they support the sport here, which is rad.
It is rad.
And I mean, I think that's enough. Like they made it happen for me to get to the US to pursue this whole thing. So, I mean, I'm super
most reliable car and partner. What more could you ask for?
Exactly.
Thanks for your time, Matt. It's been lekker spending time with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Can't wait to see 2025. I don't know how many more boxes you can tick, but I'm stoked to hear that you're motivated and you have learned more and more in that iceberg. Hopefully the top piece is getting bigger.
Yeah, hopefully it's
expanding.
Expanding.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
But
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.